Blake Lively hiring former CIA agents to help with her PR crisis is about as crazy as it gets.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit.
For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds sold the fairy tale life. Those enviable red carpet smiles, playful social media banter, and philanthropic headlines that crowned them Hollywood's nice couple. While many celebrities carefully guard their privacy, they maintain just enough public presence to keep fans enthralled. Their fans saw them as relatable yet aspirational.
It's intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
A couple who managed to avoid the usual pitfalls of fame. But that pristine image came crashing down the instant the whispers began. Suddenly, rumors of legal disputes and backroom clashes with Justin Baldoni started swirling. People blinked in disbelief. No one could imagine that the stars behind those adorable photo ops might be at the center of a lawsuit so messy it could redefine how we view celebrity influence. Yet here we are, knee-deep in an entangled legal circus, wondering whether the power couple we all admired has been quietly engineering backroom deals and manipulative PR tactics to maintain their sparkling facade. As soon as the lawsuit details leaked, everyone expected a few shocking claims.
Mr. Baldoni, we are reporting about a crisis communication operation conducted on behalf of you, Jamie Heath and Wayfarer Studios, to protect your reputations and harm Blake Lively's, as described in a legal complaint filed today.
Lawsuits involving celebrities often churn out sensational headlines. What no one anticipated was the level of stealth, cunning, and possibly even bribery attempts that would overshadow the entire fiasco. The deeper lawyers dug, the more it seemed like something bigger was brewing just beneath the surface. One of the biggest eyebrow raisers? The sudden appearance of supposed witnesses making claims that, on closer inspection, seemed thin at best. These unknown accusers popped into the legal narrative without concrete identities or consistent stories, leaving many to wonder whether they were a genuine part of the case or part of a larger scheme to flood the media with salacious gossip. Instead of weakening Justin Baldoni's position, these questionable testimonies backfired. They made the public ask, who benefits from sowing this kind of confusion? And the finger kept pointing, intentionally or not, toward Blake Lively's camp. But that wasn't the whole story. Whispers of bribery, some even citing a staggering $100 million figure, began circulating. Allegations flew that people behind the scenes were pressured to bury unflattering evidence, sign hush agreements, and spin certain narratives. If even a shred of that is true, it means we're not just looking at a messy celebrity dispute. We might be peering into Hollywood's darkest corners, where money and influence silence the truth. This is where Hollywood's underbelly really comes into play. We've all heard the rumors that certain A-listers hold the kind of influence that can make or break someone's career. Usually, though, it's all speculation until receipts start leaking. That's precisely what happened when audio recordings emerged, hinting that Justin Baldoni had been blacklisted not for any proven wrongdoing, but because he was associated with the wrong people at the wrong time. It's no secret that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds share friendships with some of the most powerful folks in the industry. Doors open for them that remain tightly locked for everyone else. Contracts, talk show appearances, endorsement deals. Hollywood has a habit of rewarding its inner circle. But as these revelations suggest, that same power can also be weaponized. The question is, how far were they willing to take it? According to leaked snippets of conversation, high-level agency execs discussed career-killing strategies in a manner that felt more like hush-hush espionage than your standard business hustle. Things escalated to the point that rumors swirled of literal CIA-level crisis management agencies stepping in, specialists known for quashing controversies before they even see daylight. That might sound far-fetched, until you consider that these exact types of firms exist specifically to protect ultra-wealthy clients. Suddenly, the idea of a hush operation doesn't feel so improbable. In any normal story, once the cracks show, you expect major players to scale back and tighten their circle. But in this case, crucial evidence refused to stay hidden. Audio recordings that pointed a glaring light on Hollywood cronyism surfaced online, only to vanish a short time later. A widely respected podcast episode, one that contained direct quotes from key industry insiders, mysteriously disappeared from all platforms without explanation. It was the sort of vanishing act that practically screams, someone doesn't want this information out there. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to question how such a well-publicized piece of media could evaporate overnight. This move backfired spectacularly because once something is scrubbed from the internet, it often reappears with twice as much attention. Curiosity soared. People demanded to know who was pulling the strings and to what extent Lively and Reynolds were part of the orchestrations. Public sentiment shifted even more dramatically when it turned out that these hush-hush measures only confirmed suspicions that something was being covered up. Rather than casting Baldoni as the villain, it made him look like someone fighting a system stacked against him, propped up by whispered deals and strategic alliances. The blame, instead, zeroed in on the power couple's behind-the-scenes choices, a turn of events nobody predicted at the start. Then we arrive at the infamous 180-page amended lawsuit filed on Blake Lively's behalf. An epic document so long and convoluted it made fans and legal experts alike question its purpose. Most lawsuits of this nature barely tip past 20 or 30 pages. But 180 pages? That suggests a ton of extra padding, which can come across as a PR stunt disguised as a legal complaint. Worse yet, each new filing seemed to contradict something in the previous one, like a never-ending carousel of claims. Blake's story shifted from, "I have damning footage," to actually, "That footage proves something else," to, "Well, I was forced into that scene," and on and on. This fiasco only magnified the sense that every time a piece of the official narrative was debunked, the script was hastily rewritten. And let's not forget the smoking gun video that was supposed to confirm Baldoni as an aggressor. According to the initial hype, it would end his career. Instead, the footage showed Blake looking perfectly comfortable. So comfortable, in fact, that it flew in the face of her original version of events. Instead of humiliating Baldoni, it poked giant holes in Blake's credibility, giving the public a reason to doubt her entire account. When a single lie is discovered in court, the jury can discount the entire testimony. Here, we aren't talking about a single fib. We're dealing with repeated twists that keep undermining her case. With each contradictory reveal, fewer people seemed willing to go to bat for Blake. Whispered conversations suggested that even her longtime PR firm was tempted to back off. The last straw for many was the bizarre attempt to accuse Baldoni of toxic positivity, implying that his upbeat behavior and kindly worded emails somehow created a hostile environment. On paper, it read like a comedic parody. The more outlandish the accusations became, the more it felt like a desperate scramble to demonize him. Then another bombshell, the possibility that private messages with Taylor Swift might be subpoenaed or leaked. Immediately, Lively and Reynolds purportedly moved to keep those out of the public eye, raising the question, what on earth was said in those texts that made them so skittish? Those who have worked in big league PR suspect the messages might confirm some form of behind-the-scenes coordination, some manifestation of power plays or illusions of victimhood. If the texts were actually exonerating for Blake, wouldn't she want them public? The refusal to let them see the light of day only fanned suspicions that her side had a lot more to hide. Moreover, mainstream news outlets, once friendly to Lively, started distancing themselves. Softball interviews dried up, and once cooperative journalists grew wary. There's only so much you can spin before a story starts to smell like a hoax. Hollywood watchers claim that even top-tier reporters, who usually feed into celebrity controversies for clicks, found the details too inconsistent to run as fact. Faced with mounting evidence against her narrative and a judge who wasn't buying the victim shtick, Blake Lively's team apparently tried to seal documents under oath protection, basically restricting access so that even Baldoni might not see them. It's one thing to keep specifics private for personal safety or legitimate privacy concerns, but this went far beyond normal practice. It reeked of desperation, fueling whispers that something truly incriminating lurked inside those documents. And then came the biggest punch, the bribery rumors, with some so eye-popping that no ordinary person could imagine them as anything but hush money. If you're ready to throw 9 figures at a legal matter, it suggests you're covering up more than a petty disagreement. Suddenly, people in the legal sphere started hinting that this wasn't just a defamation case. It was a microcosm of how Hollywood elites manipulate entire industries, paying off the right individuals to ensure certain details never reach the public. Each attempt at suppression blew up in her face. Instead of controlling the conversation, Lively's side made each story more salacious. Experts say that even if Blake wanted to pivot now, her best option, quietly settling the lawsuit, won't fix the avalanche of bad press. If she pays out, the public will assume guilt. If she fights on, each new piece of evidence topples her credibility even further. In the end, the unstoppable meltdown only digs its own grave deeper. In a span of months, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds witnessed a dizzying reversal of fortune. One minute, they were the picture of Hollywood integrity, and the next they found themselves entangled in a lawsuit so convoluted it felt more like a spy thriller than a celebrity dispute. From alleged hush money to clandestine PR operatives, from fake witnesses to documents so secret they had to be buried in legal labyrinths. Every element of this fiasco signaled just how far their empire was willing to go to protect its shine. But now, the illusions are stripped away, and the raw truth is on display. In the courtroom, social clout and star status only get you so far. Facts still matter. Inconsistencies unravel even the most carefully choreographed narratives. And once a Hollywood darling is deemed untrustworthy, that reputation might be shattered for good. The question is, can Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds ever truly walk back from this scandal? Will they retreat from the public eye until the dust settles, or attempt a grand redemption story with carefully scripted apologies? Whichever way it ends, their story stands as a cautionary tale of fame's double-edged sword. Sometimes the same influence that catapults you to stardom can also lead to your most spectacular downfall. And as audiences continue to sift through every new leak, every suspiciously missing podcast episode, and every contradictory statement, one thing is certain. This legal saga has changed how we see two of Hollywood's most celebrated names, perhaps forever.